So basically, we did not have a WrestleMania season for the year 2025, right? I mean, Mania season for WrestleMania 41 has been non-existent. Now more than ever, more fans than ever, calling out the bullshit booking, the laziness, and the unacceptable focus and energy that has been put into this product for the entire season. And it starts at the top with Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Yet this dude, 9 days before Mania, this dude is on Jimmy Fallon. Or when he was on the show 11 days from Mania. Let's call it legit 11. Now as it stands, 9. And this dude's on a media tour. 2% of every interview may be talking about Mania. A roster full of superstars. A roster full of individuals that would love that spotlight on Fallon, on Good Day New York, on the Today Show. It's Hunter Hearst Helmsley doing it all. Hunter has made himself the face of the company. Why was LA Knight not in that spot? Put a Cody Rhodes in there, why not? Put Drew McIntyre out there. Hunter Hearst Helmsley doing Jimmy Fallon, and I was going to let it, so I wasn't even going to talk about it, because at this point you just laugh. Mania season has imploded. You can tell that everybody is already exhausted. You guys saw Raw. Everybody's exhausted. Adam Pearce, he still thinks that Rhea Ripley's in the Judgment Day. Pat McAfee on commentary just looks like he needs a 3-month vacation. It's the last place he wants to be is WWE Raw, and it's sad. But I don't even blame him. The drone cam almost hits the hard cam, so production's falling asleep from the product. Hunter wants nothing to do with creative. He knows he botched it. He knows he doesn't even give a damn. He just wants to play superstar. He wants to do all the voiceovers. He wants to do the commercials. He wants to be on all the talk shows. He got surprised by his buddies and his wife for the Hall of Fame. But deep down, he's going to be headlining the Hall of Fame, so that's where the focus is too. He doesn't care about this. He hears everything that's being said about this year's WrestleMania season. He doesn't even care because he knows it's so far off the tracks. Forget about it. Maybe we'll try again next year. In fact, with all the commotion and all the people upset, all of you guys, which should be, you should be, because they're raising your prices. They want you to pay $10,000 a ticket to show up, and they're giving you nothing in return. Less than ever before, but they're taking more than ever before. And you know what they just said? Because that wasn't it, just Fallon. I was going to let that slide and not even talk about it because it's just ridiculously sad at this point. It's laughable at a frustrating level. But then he's up there with Nick Khan at the NAB conference. Why is he there with Nick Khan? That's business. You have no business being your chief of content. Pay attention to the content. It needs it right now, especially for Mania. This dude can't be bothered with the content. Then lose the title. Don't be in that position. But he's up there with Nick Khan at the NAB conference. And you know what they said about all the backlash and the chatter online and people not feeling like it's Mania season? This is what they said. This is a quote. Nick Khan and Hunter Hearst Helmsley, this is what they said. Social media gives a small percentage of voices a large platform. It's a mistake to respond to your business based off of that. You've got to base it off of your gut and results. Yeah, totally agree. You can't just switch everything up every time people are crying online, but when it suits them or when it gets too much, they'll absolutely stop on a dime. If it suits them, they'll absolutely switch it up. But when you're telling them what they did thus far absolutely sucks and you're calling them out on their laziness and how bad this Mania season is, all of a sudden, no, we don't hear all the chatter online. We don't hear the voices. We don't respond to that. We don't care about that. They're trying to take all your money but shut you up in the process. If that doesn't show you how tone deaf this company now is, if that doesn't show you what they're all about, and Hunter has just become another stooge in the process in the wheel of Endeavor Silver Lake. So once I saw that, I'm like, how do you not speak on this? Man, we're all frustrated with this year's Mania season. And you would hope that like Hunter at least understands, and for the next 9 days, he's going to work from sun up to sundown, 25 hours out of a day. That's right. Do the math. Do your Steiner math. 25 hours a day. Yeah, add that up. 25 hours a day. He's going to work on this Mania card for the next 9 days. And you know what the sad part is? You see Monday night in the leaked photos, and he's just leaned up on the barricade talking to the chubby comedian there, who on Monday Night Raw just loved to lift his shirt up and show his nipples. Or I don't even know what he was doing, but that's what Hunter was doing on his Monday. Instead of really working hard, he goes out there and he's just shooting the shit with the celebrities. D-list. He doesn't care as long as he's rubbing shoulders with the celebs. That's how he's spending his time. And then he goes from Stanford all the way to New York City to hit up Jimmy Fallon. Do you know how long that takes? Forget the travel. The travel with traffic, an hour and a half each way, bare minimum. Bare minimum. You can get there in an hour, but if you have traffic or whatnot, hour and a half, you're in the green room, you're setting up, you got to do the recording. That's a day. So, okay, he's texting back and forth, making some you're not present, man. Cancel the Jimmy Fallon appearance if that's the case. And then the NAB conference, let Nick Khan and bring in the president of TKO or Silver Lake Endeavor, whatever, but bring in actual business people, because I listened to the whole thing. Hunter contributed nothing to that. Just his word salad as per usual. Running around saying a whole lot of nothing. There's no reason for him to be there. You're the chief of content. You have Mania in 9 days, and your fan base is telling you, you suck at your job. This shit sucks. It doesn't even feel like Mania. Fix it. And instead, you just want to show up at all these talk shows and conferences and do your voiceovers and your commercials and do your little Hall of Fame. And your hand is in every other cookie jar than what you should be focusing on. Content. Creative content. It's bullshit. It's absolutely bullshit. You know, am I blowing out the mic already? You know, every single day, Hunter is trying to be Vince McMahon, and it's hilarious because he's forgetting the one thing that Vince McMahon did. From sun up to sundown, Vince McMahon put every bit of energy and focus into the product. Not the last few years, obviously. He was too busy with the paralegals and the chickadees and doing some weird kinky shit. I get it. But for the bulk, for the whole run, what put WWF/WWE on the map, that's because Vince worked his ass off. He didn't like to do talk shows. He didn't like to do anything like that. He hated it, man. In fact, in all of Vince's run for decades, he did about 12 interviews, tops. I'm being generous. And I'm not talking about company cleanup or company responsibility interviews. Like, for instance, when they went public and he's got to go on all these shows, or the Benoit situation and he had to go on Larry King, or things like that. The Donahue show with the scandals, which Meltzy Boy was a part of, I believe. But actual interviews that he went and did and accepted for whatever various reasons. Guys, I don't even know if it added up to a dozen. Hunter's already done a dozen this year alone. It's only been 3-4 months into the year. He's already done a dozen. Hunter just loves doing all that. He loves playing the star. He knows the in-ring career is over, but if he can still be the face of the company, he's going to take it. And so that's what you get. You get Hunter Helmsley at 50 some odd years old trying to play face of the company. And all your actual faces just sabotage him. Right? Look at two of the big matchups at Mania this year that are so confusing to so many fans. They don't make sense. 6 faces, 2 matchups. Roman, Rollins, Punk, all in one match. For what reason? You're just going to divide your audience 3 ways. And then for the ladies, same thing. Io, Rhea, Bianca, 3 faces, divide your audience 3 ways. 6 faces, 2 matchups, no reason. Nobody knows why Rhea was added to that. Why did Io win the title a month before Mania? Why is CM Punk and Roman igniting a feud a month before Mania, and all of a sudden that's your main event with Rollins? Nobody knows. It's weird. It doesn't make sense. It's bullshit. It's 6 faces. They're all not going to get anything from this. There's no reward. There's no benefit for these 6 faces. It's only a detriment, but he doesn't give a fuck, because when it's all said and done, it'll still be Hunter with his face on your TV. His voice, "Are you ready?" on all the advertisements. His commercials you'll be seeing. He'll be headlining the Hall of Fames and other award shows. They'll make award shows just so he can headline it. But he will do anything. Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, anything. Today Show, he will do it all. As long as he doesn't have to actually get creative, because that's actual work. This worked when it was NXT Black and Gold, and it's 1 hour on the WWE Network, and you got masterminds like Dusty Rhodes and William Regal and so many others, so you can fly in on the company jet to Orlando, give some Papa H speeches to the talent, approve some shit that William Regal and Dusty went over with you, and yeah, that sounds good, let's change this up, and then you fly your company jet back to Stamford. This ain't that anymore. This is the big league, and it's clear that Hunter's over his head, so you know what? Take away the content chief title. If you can't handle it, ditch it. Just be a superstar on the roster. Cool. Collect all that money. If you want to go to the NAB conferences and be a suit and tie, cool. Get an office job and stay there. I don't know what to tell you, because chief of content, you're not. You suck at it. So stop doing it. Jimmy Fallon. As it stands right now, we're 9 days away, and that's what we're talking about. He's talking about terrorizing, how he started in the business. He's talking about how he ascended to the top of the industry, and now he's running WWE supposedly, right? You're not Vince, dude. Stop it. Not even close. If you had half that work ethic, maybe we'd have some semblance of a good WrestleMania season. Every waking moment right now should be spent on creative for Mania, or trying to make this better than what it is right now, because right now it is in the dirt and it can't be dug up. But at least try. Don't even try. They're like, screw it. We already got most of their money. A lot of Mania's sold out. They haven't even sold out Mania. I wonder why. You haven't given them 2 nights of a card yet. Guys, if I'm correct here, I don't have all of those in my notes, all of those stats. Unfortunately, that's in a different area of the studio. But I believe there's only 10 announced matches, correct? You're at least going to have 14, 7 and 7, 7 Saturday, 7 Sunday. So 14, you have 10 announced. We still need 4. We believe Liv and Raquel is going to get their opponents announced after a gauntlet match, I believe Friday, is it? So I think tomorrow night on SmackDown, Liv and Raquel finally find out who they're facing 8 days before Mania. Long-term storytelling is what we were told, right? That's what everybody loves to tell BC and you guys who call Hunter out on this bullshit. We're told, no, it's long-term storytelling and booking. That's what Hunter does. Yeah, this is definitely long-term story. This is great planning, right? Liv and Raquel is going to find out 8 days before Mania in a gauntlet match. That's brilliant. I mean, this dude is like a genius. At this point, just put him up there. Put Hunter up there with the Paul Heymans, the Coronets, and what Vince used to be. Absolutely. This is great long-term booking. Wait 8 days before Mania and then have Liv and Raquel find out who their opponents are going to be in a lazy gauntlet match. Oh, this is good, man. This is good. And then we still need 3 other matchups. They have to either announce all of them tomorrow so you at least have 1 week to digest them, or they wrap it up on Monday, days before Mania, literally. Like, 5 days before Mania, and the last matchups are finally announced. And you tell me that this dude's long-term booking and storytelling, dude, nobody even knows if they're on the card. You got the 10 matches and that's it. Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre, I think, was announced too, was it? So maybe that's 11 now, actually. No. Drew still has to respond. That's what it is. So we believe Drew and Damian will be added to it. That's a Raw match at best. That's a house show match. But most of these are. I mean, they're hot-shotting Jacob Fatu out of nowhere for LA Knight. That match was announced like whoa. And I wouldn't be shocked if they turn that into a fatal 4-way tomorrow. Because everything else is, bro. They just announced Braun Breaker in a fatal 4-way on Monday. I'm sorry, what? Finn Balor has a few matchup wins in the calendar year. You have, what's his name? Dominic Mysterio only has 3 victories in the last 365 days. 2 of them not even televised. The last one was back in February. Speed. Saban. He beat Saban on speed back in February, and apparently that gives him an IC title match at Mania. They don't even care to make it make sense. They just want to take your money and say, ha ha, we got you, loser, idiot, schmuck. Thanks for your money. That's what they're doing. They're insulting your intelligence. They're giving you the middle finger, and you're happily handing them your money going, thanks. It's bullshit. Maybe if they weren't taking more and more money, maybe if they weren't raising prices, maybe if they weren't doing all these talk shows and trying to act like business is truly booming, maybe if the ratings weren't going backwards, maybe if merchandise wasn't down still, 31% from just 5 years ago, maybe if all the metrics weren't going backwards, but they still giving us this garbage and baloney about how business is amazing and that's why we're raising prices, meanwhile they're giving you nothing in return. Maybe if that wasn't the case, we'd be a little bit more lenient, but it is the case. Mania season, there is no reason they raised the prices and they're giving us this garbage to the point where it doesn't even feel like it. And this dude's on Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon, we're talking about a Hunter Hearst Helmsley will be. See, man, he's going to the Hall of Fame. Maybe he's just promoting that with Mania. Yes, because when people go into the Hall of Fame, they do media tours. Yeah, I never saw that, but okay. For Hunter, I guess there's an exception. Media tour because he's going into the Hall of Fame. BC, maybe he's just promoting Mania. Yes, because he doesn't have a roster of talent that could vitally use that position. That's what I mean. Vince used to put his wrestlers, Regis and Kathy Lee back in the day was a big morning talk show. Do you know how many times they tried to get Vince? Every day, basically. Gilman, who was their producer, tried to get Vince. Vince kept on turning them down. Instead, he would bring them Macho Man. He would bring them Warrior. He would bring them Hogan. He brought them Undertaker once. It was the oddest thing, but the greatest thing. He put his wrestlers in those spotlights. He didn't want to do those shows. Arsenio Hall wanted all these Vince McMahon appearances. Vince would turn them down nonstop to bring his wrestlers there. Jay Leno, it doesn't matter. Conan O'Brien, Vince would turn them down all the time because he wanted to focus on the product at the time and he wanted to put the spotlight on his wrestlers. Damn it, is that so hard to do, especially when the product is so bad right now creatively. Your fans are trying to tell you that. And instead, you do more talk shows, and then you come out with this statement yesterday at the NAB conference that you don't hear and don't respond to the chatter. You stay the course, and in your words, you trust your gut, and you go with the results. Well, the results are the fans are pissed off with this Mania season. So there you go. There's the results. So you don't want to listen to the community, which before you said you do listen to the community. So which is it? Which way do I go? Which way do I go? They don't know. They like to switch it up because that's how they play this whole game. It's whatever suits them in the moment. That's what they're going to go with. They're such good liars. They're just so used to do it non-stop, which is pretty cool because in today's Amped Up, I didn't even do a how you doing salute. Welcome to today's Amped Up, the 10th of April for the year 2025. We got some great stories. AEW Dynamite's review for last night. We're going to talk Dynamite. I got a lot to say about that. By the way, there's 3 things I liked big time on this Dynamite because I'm thinking about it from a creative stand. That's right, creativity. What a concept. And I could do so much with these either situations or characters. So I do want to talk about that. And then the beginning and the end of Dynamite, I still have massive issues with. We'll go over it. And we're also going to talk that NAB conference that Hunter Hearst Helmsley and Nick Khan were spewing a whole lot of bullshit on. But I'm going to give you facts. We're going to take what they said and we're going to factually cipher through it. And you're going to see just how much bullshit they spew. That's all coming up. So I didn't even give a proper introduction. I just jumped into the first story, which is Hunter Hearst Helmsley is telling you now. He is telling all of us he doesn't care about this whole season, this whole creative thing for W. He doesn't care. He just wants to play the role of Vince McMahon, but he doesn't want to do Vince McMahon shit. He doesn't want to put in the hours, the time, or all the due diligence that it takes to do the shit that built the empire of World Wrestling Entertainment. He just wants to play the king of World Wrestling Entertainment. Papa H. Everybody look up to him. Don't say anything bad. You're going to want a job with him. He'll tell you everything you want to hear, and when you turn around, it's a sledgehammer to the dome piece. Baron Corbin, Carmella, Dijak, Cameron Grimes, Sonya Deville, and so many others are still just waiting for a reason why they got released, because Hunter told them everything is awesome. You should be proud of yourself. You're doing great. They got released. They go to bed every night and they don't know why. They just want Hunter. Anybody tell us why? They're just asking. Hunter doesn't have a damn moment to tell them because he's got the talk shows to do. He's got his talk shows, his commercials. He's got to do his voiceovers. Are you ready? France, we're coming to your country. Are you ready, France? Germany, are you ready? Just have LA Knight do that, bro. Have Drew do it. Have a heel do it. Drew, do you know what a heel is, Hunter? Oh, that's right, you don't. You just want faces versus faces, heels versus heels. Nobody wins. It's a detriment to everybody. And so, in the process, we can just talk about Hunter Hearst Helmsley. He's the one consistent. Yeah, I'd say it's laughable, it's frustrating, it's ridiculous, it's unacceptable. That's Helmsley, and that's pretty much Mania season in a nutshell. And you still have to throw a bunch more matches out at us, and you only have 9 days right now. Your next show is tomorrow, so at that point it's 8 days. So if you don't fill out the card, you're talking about Monday. And at that point, you're just 5 days away. I mean, some people are already making their way to Vegas at that point. They're not waiting till Wednesday. So a lot of people they purchased their tickets not even having a finalized card. And you're going to go into the final week before Mania, and we're still not going to have a finalized 2 nights. And this dude's on talk shows. Not promoting anything but himself. Don't get it twisted. And we know this because we've seen this time and time again. And if we don't be honest about it now and speak up, do you honestly think it changes next year when he's even more stressed out and he's got a whole nother year of being the guy at the top? Do you think it gets better? No. If you're doing your job properly, it just gets harder. But you know how to work through it. We can't have another Mania season like this. You guys know this. If you're pro wrestling fans, which if you're listening to this, you are, then just be honest, man. We need somebody who is going to focus on the actual creative. This guy's at the NAB conference with Nick Khan doing all the Vince McMahon shit. Nick Khan is the Vince McMahon guys. He's the business guy. What Hunter is basically is what Jim Ross was. So that's like Jim Ross doing all the shit that Vince would have to do. Or Jim Ross being up there with Nick Khan. That wouldn't be the case. This is all so fucking weird. And it wouldn't be an issue if this Mania season was going off without a hitch. There were so many awesome storylines. Everything made sense, or at least most things. Guys, you have champions that don't even have a match. Lyra Valkyria has a title. She has nothing. She doesn't even have a storyline. She's having matches with her friends this past Monday, Bailey. They might go for tag titles. Your IC title holder will go for that bit. Yeah, but Chelsea Green has a title, I believe. Chelsea's been putting in some of her best work. You know what she gets as a prize, as a reward? Nothing. Sit down. Maybe we'll put you at SummerSlam. It's possible, but maybe not. Crown Jewel, possibly we can put you at Chelsea. That's what Hunter's saying. He's just a champion. She's a U.S. champion. And she doesn't even have a story. And this dude's playing hot shot on James Fallon. Do you know how long that day takes to go to do that show and then go to the NAB conference? This is all taking the time that needs to go into this. Why are you not frustrated? I know more and more of you guys are. Thank goodness. This is finally, people are finally waking up, and that's the coolest thing to see. I've had this channel for a while, and for a while, I've been the only one calling this Triple H bullshit out. Everybody just wanted to coddle the dude's balls and hope for the best because at least it's not Vince anymore. But after 2 full years, we now see the writing's on the wall. He is telling you he doesn't give a shit about this. He's telling you, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, they're raising the prices, they're taking more from you, and they're giving you nothing in return. More and more people are starting to wake up. I've been doing this long enough, and it's pretty cool to see. Pretty cool to see. But I talked about like having the AEW review coming up. When I say it's the most fair review in the community, I mean that because there's no narrative, there's no agenda, there's no bullshit, laughable, ridiculous takes. There's people having an aneurysm about All Elite Wrestling's product. That's all you hear in the community, how bad it is. It needs to be taken off the air. It's the worst thing we've ever seen in wrestling. But for WWE's product, which is the worst I'll go back to 93, 94, WrestleMania 9, WrestleMania 11, WrestleMania 13. Right? A lot of people think it's some of the worst years and times. I will take that over what we're getting now any day. Any day. I'll take Duke the Dumpster Drosy. I'll take the Goon. I'll take Skip and the Body Donnas. Skip and what was the other one? Skip and Kip? Dip? Skip and Dip. The Body Donnas with Sonny as their manager. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm not even joking. I will take all of that. I'll take WrestleMania 9 any day over this bullshit. And there are people that are giving WWE and Hunter Hearst Helmsley a pass. That's all right. Some people are actually saying it's a good show still. It's good. And they're having an aneurysm with AEW, a company that's been around for 6 years. Relax. WWE was around nearly 15 years when they hit or over 10 years, when they hit that rough patch with 93, 94, 95. Right? Could you imagine if we were reviewing back then, we'd be flipping out. By those standards, 6 years. Vince was around over 10 and he hit that rough patch. They'll bounce back maybe. People are having an aneurysm with All Elite Wrestling's product, but a company that's been around over 50 years, this is acceptable to them. Oh, it's just fine. Mania season, I understand it doesn't even feel like a crown jewel. Feels like all of these are house show matchups, but that's okay. I didn't mind Raw at all. It was good. I like how EO took out Bianca and Ray. I love how Adam just said, you know what? Time ran out. Let's just make it a triple threat. And then we went backstage and they just said, hey, let's make a fatal four-way for the... I love how nothing makes sense. There's no real story progression, but we're just announcing shit just because we ran out of time. I like this. I like the Lucha Latte. Americano Grandando Americano. He's taking on Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania. Yay! I can't wait to see this. I can't wait to see Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre at Mania. Said nobody who wants to have a good time ever. Who's doing that? That is a Raw or a SmackDown match at best. And even then, I'd go make a coffee or go play in traffic or pick up a bad habit. And I like Drew McIntyre. That's how much Hunter Hearst Helmsley has botched his epic work of 2024. But every time somebody is putting in the effort and putting in the work and getting over, Hunter doesn't like that. Sorry, Chelsea, sit down. Sorry, Drew McIntyre, sit down. LA Knight, get to the back. In the future, I'll put a U.S. title on you. Yeah, I'll give you that. And I can go on and on. BC spitting, yes, but it's all facts, man. If you're wondering, yes, I had a lot of coffee, but why is my eye twitching right now? It's not the amount of coffee that I had. It's that this product makes my eye twitch. It literally is that fucking bad. It is so sad that I have to speak about it like this, something I love so much, and it is so damn bad, and the people that are at the top don't give a fuck. They just want to get more and more money from you. So yeah. I'm sitting here now with my eye fucking twitching talking about this shit. And yeah, absolutely. I'm drinking 2 coffees at a time for the last 6 hours. Do I even have any more in this one? Yes, a little bit. Let me take another sip. We'll pop the iced coffee in a minute. But there's no reason this is where we should be 9 days before Mania. Not a fucking reason, and you guys know it. So, all apologies that there was not a proper introduction for this amped up, but we had to just jump right into it because it's bullshit. And I wasn't even going to speak on the whole Jimmy Fallon thing because I literally just laughed when I saw it. I'm like, yep, makes sense. Makes sense when you look at this Mania and when you really, if you're honest, how you feel about it this season, it makes sense. Just go on all the talk shows, dude, because it's clear you don't give a fuck anyway. But then when I saw the NAB conference and all the bullshit they were spewing, I couldn't. I'm like, no, you know what? We're flipping. We're flipping out, man. Let's go. Veteran subscribers, my channel members, salute. This is why most likely you subscribed and why you became a channel member. I appreciate it. I'll never stop giving the utmost amplified truth to you guys, man. I assure you of that. I will never watch one of these shows and tell you it's good just to try to get clicks or views or subscribers. I promise. I never will. I never will, man. You're always going to get the amplified truth, and that's why I appreciate you guys, because it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality, and you guys are the best in the community. If you're new to this channel, I know the past few uploads, we got a lot of new subscribers. I appreciate that big time. I think in this upload, you just realized how amplified we are and how much we do not bullshit. We don't sugarcoat. And we just drop truth because the mission statement on this channel is just literally make pro wrestling great again. We don't have a hidden agenda or a narrative. We're not at all trying to get views, clicks, and subs. It's not why I started this. It's not why we do it. It's cool, if people want to come on in the process, but the mission statement is make pro wrestling great again. So I think newer subscribers, either you found that out and you're even more amplified than ever before right now, or I scared you away. Oh man, this is wild. I gotta go. Gotta go back to Denise. Much love and respect, by the way. Do your thing, Denise. But, maybe that's a lot more tame. And I understand that. But, you want the best out of all these boys and gals. You really do. You really do. And you want to speak positively about it because we love this. And it sucks when it's this bad, man. And it sucks when it starts at the top and you see that. And it's like, dude, what are you doing? I don't care if you had prior commitments. You say, dude, I got Mania in 9 days and there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Sorry, Jimmy. I'm sending you over LA. I'll send you Cody. I'll send you somebody. I'm sorry, dude. I can't. Nab, he doesn't need to be there. I don't want to just recycle the same shit in different ways, but yes, it's bull. It's absolute bullshit. And it's frustrating. And you want to speak positive about it. You want it to feel like Mania season. You want to have that feeling like you did when you were a kid, man. And it doesn't matter. That's the great thing about pro wrestling. A kid, a teenager, a young adult, an older adult, it doesn't matter. It transcends the ages. When done correctly, there's nothing like pro wrestling on the planet. It's the best thing ever. When it's done bad, it's the saddest thing ever. Because you know what it could and should be, and it's not. And you don't have the proper people running it right now. And now more and more people are finally waking up. The ones that are being honest with themselves and with their audiences, if they have platforms, they're being honest. They're finally waking up and calling this out. But for this Mania season, it's obviously too late. I think Mania is going to be fine. Like the night of the 2 nights, the boys and gals will go out there and knock it out of the park. They'll have no choice. It's all going to rest on their shoulders. And Hunter just has to give good finishes for the matches. I mean, his work will be bare minimum as easy as imaginable. Only Hunter could screw that up, but it would take a lot of work for us to come out of Sundays, the 20th of April, 2 nights of Mania, and say that Mania sucked. I think Mania will be fine, but that's not going to just take away the entire season that was irrelevant and non-existent and horribly booked, and just incredibly unacceptably sad. The journey is just as much as the destination. So no, if you think that, if Hunter is thinking, all I got to do is put on a good Mania or have some good finishes, if we put on a good Mania, everybody will shut up and forget about the horrible Mania season and everything will be okay. I got to do as little as work possible and everything worked out. No. He did that for the Chamber, right? The build, everything, nothing making sense. It sucked. And then the Chamber was decent to good because John Cena turned heel and that was just transcended the business. So Hunter got all ballsy and he looked at the camera in the media scrum and he says, now does it feel like Mania? You're resting on John Cena's junk, bro. And then by the next day, it was right back to the same old Hunter Hearst Helmsley status quo of bullshit. Because without a Cena and a Rock, you're left with Hunter Hearst Helmsley and his status quo bullshit. So no, to answer your question, Hunter, it doesn't feel like Mania season. All right, so Nab. This is a conference. I can't even tell you what it is, why it is. I don't even care what it is. I know that Nick Khan was up there, and there's Hunter Hearst Helmsley when he should be at the office, creative, just with a bunch of people, making sure that they try to make as much sense of this entire Mania as possible over the next 9 days. But instead, literally my eyes twitching. No, it's not because of the coffee. It's because of this product. But this dude, Hunter Helmsley, is now at the NAB conference. I'm like, you couldn't have just put in the president of TKO or something with Nick. It's business. He added nothing of substance or value. I listened to the whole, it was wild. It's like, why are you wasting your time? You're the chief of content and your content sucks. So they're up there. And guys, I'll make this short because I ranted for probably 16 hours already about this. Slight exaggeration in this upload. But so let me just, some of the things they were touting. Nick Khan is talking about, or maybe it was H, I forgot which one. They were touting how now that they're on Netflix, they can now reach 700 million people. 700 million people they can reach. They didn't want to give you any other info on that. They didn't want to tell you the facts that BC's about to drop. The fact that the product is so damn bad that it only captures the interest of 2.9 globally. How is that possible? It's almost like sometimes it's better just a shoddy. Don't say that you can reach 700 million because then when you hear the number and the rating that comes out and you know that it's a 2.9 globally, you have to ask yourself, what happened to 697 plus million potential viewers? Out of 700 million, you're getting 2.9. In the US, you're all the way down to a 1-2, and we're being generous because we don't have the official number. That's just the best number that we could come up with, us numbers guys, because their average used to be 1-4, 1-6. Based on the info that we have, they're no more than a 1-3. There's evidence that they're actually in the 1-1s. We're giving them a 1-2 out of generosity. So no matter which way you dice it, they've lost over 300,000 viewers from Raw on the USA Network. But that's just US. Let's stick globally because that's what they're touting. They're giving you this fascinating, just out of this world number, 700 million people. And by saying that, it makes WWE sound so big, right? We can now reach 700 million. Okay, we know what you could reach. What are you doing? You won't hear them talk about 2.9. Could you imagine if he told the truth? Oh, we can reach 700 million. We're currently only at 2.9 that give a fuck. But we could. We could try to get 697 million plus more. And this is the one here. This is great. This is great. And I mean that with the utmost sarcasm. So then they tout how NXT is on the CW. And since that partnership, they have doubled. I think more than doubled is what they said, right? I'll try to give you guys the actual paragraph. More than doubled, or at least doubled, what they were pulling in since going to the CW. Really? Did you forget there are people that are not going to allow that bullshit? Smart people like BC that actually go by the numbers and the statistics and the metrics, right? I love shit like that. You're sitting there and you're saying that because you went to the CW, you've doubled your numbers. Bro, the last rating we have for NXT on the USA Network, right there, it's for you guys to see. 620, I believe, right? I'll put it up for you guys. I don't have it right in front of me, but I'll make sure in post edit that you guys have that. 620. I'll make a note of it, actually. I'll make a note of it. 620. Edit. Because I want you guys to actually see this. 620 was their last, I believe. And if I'm wrong, then we'll put that on top of the edit. It'll be double edited. 620. And then 680 is what they just pulled on the CW. 620 on the USA Network. Last week, by the way, was 650. If this was a week ago, we'd be talking about a 30,000 viewer difference. But they did go up to 680 this week. 620 on the USA Network, 680 on CW. How is that doubling your numbers? Bro, you went up 60,000 viewers. And again, last week we would have said 30,000. It's fluctuating right now. Their average is 650 to 660. You were pulling 620 on USA. But this is what they do. They just don't inflate, right? Businesses can just make themselves sound good. There's nothing wrong with that. People do that. Businesses do that. But why does this company have to inflate to a point that is not even realistic? And they're so ballsy, they truly believe that nobody will ever call them out on it. Nobody's going to actually find out that, wait, you didn't double your numbers at all. 620, they moved to CW. They touted how this is going to transcend the business. They're at 650 and 680. But this is what they do. They'll go to a Mania. They'll have 60,000 people, asses in seats. 60,000 asses in seats. And they'll claim that there's 75, 80,000 people in that stadium. So even if you say, well, BC, they're counting ticket sales. What happens a week later when the actual city releases the numbers because they have to? That's public info. We always find out they're at least 5 to 10,000 people off. Ticket sales, man. That's not just being off or telling a little white lie. That is literally just bullshitting and flagrantly not even giving a shit. This is what they do. And if you're wondering, it was just nonstop. Just, we're the best. It was an hour plus. Nick Khan and Hunter Hearst Helmsley at this NAB conference. It was just them just doing we are the absolute best. We are amazing. We are making record revenue. We're doing X, Y, and Z. It was the We Are Awesome World Tour. It was nauseating. It was bullshit. Record revenue. What I tell you guys, last quarter, they declined for the first time in years. So you can't even say you're making record revenue anymore. You declined. You went backwards. You lost money. So what do you mean? You can't say that, man. But that's what they're saying. I can only... the facts present themselves. There's still going to be... The funny thing is that no matter how many facts you present, there'll always be people that just will ignore it because they just have this narrative agenda or tribalism that they just want to go with anyway. And you know, whether it's people in the industry or just fans, they're not part of the solution. They're part of the problem. Like, if you truly love this stuff, if you're a big fan of Hunter Hearst Helmsley even, then you want to be honest so we can get a better product and that he can do and be better. But if you keep blowing smoke up his ass and the company's ass, we're going to keep getting this. And eventually, even you, who's okay with it, you're going to be like, all right, this is pretty bad. May take a year, may take 2 years, but you're going to eventually go, man, BC was right all along. Yeah, I know. You guys know we cannot have another Mania like this. So the first two stories before we get to the AEW Dynamite review, yes, it's centered around just a lot of discussion about the lack of care with Helmsley and WWE and Nick Khan as well, and how their focus is solely on business and just taking every penny in every way imaginable, but not giving anything in return. That's not smart business. Smart business is, MVP said it last night to MJF. I thought it was a great line. He goes, this is business. He goes, find your consumer, find out what they want, and find a way to give it to them. That was one of the best little interactions backstage, and I didn't think I was going to like MJF and Hurt Syndicate, but I didn't mind their interactions last night in the ring and backstage. I'll get to that in a little bit, but I thought that was so smart because it's so true. You know, the people that blow smoke up the company's ass, when there's conversations like this, right? The exclusionists, they'll say, well, that's what businesses do, man. They just take your money. It's what they do. Everyone's all shocked about this. No, we're shocked because we're getting nothing in return. They're raising prices and taking more and more than ever before, but they're not giving you anything, and you're not frustrated? You're giving them a pass as if they're giving you a paycheck? Like, you gotta wake up, man. This is unacceptable, or at least it should be. In business, you absolutely look for all the ways imaginable to make money, but you do it by fulfilling the consumer's appetite for what is needed. And if you can't do that, then it's not for you, or find another avenue to do such. But if you just stop caring, if you got so ballsy that you no longer even give a fuck, it's just give me money, then no, at some point your consumers are going to say fuck off. And guess what? As we get closer to Mania, Raw went backwards in the numbers. SmackDown is fluctuating between their 1-4s again. This is their average anyway. They went from a 1-3 2 weeks ago, a 1-5 last week, a 1-4 average. Merchandise, nobody cares, because when you get away from a few 12-year-olds, nobody wants to yeet or put yeet on their shirt. So yeah, merchandise is down. Nearly, or 30 some odd percent, something like that. The latest was, 20 some odd? Merchandise down still. Every metric. Mania. It's WrestleMania. They can't even fill the stadium. Neither night is sold out, not even close. And I'm not even talking the third-party sites or Scalper. I'm talking straight up Ticketmaster, not sold out. The events leading up to it, they have no consistent sellouts. Remember just last year, they were touting all these sellouts. A lot of them were bullshit. They can't even bullshit. It's not even close this year. And I can go on and on and on. What am I saying here? The consumer is finally saying, fuck off. Swig of coffee. We'll talk some All Elite Wrestling. BC's rocking. This might be one of the best uploads we've ever done, unit. Dynamite for 9:25. Mox defeats Shibata to start this show off via submission. I actually missed that. I caught this 10, 11 minutes into the show, but I was able to go back and tell you guys. I think Mox, they showed like a pre-tape of Mox cutting like a pre-tape promo, I guess. Then they went into this. It must have been a quick match because, again, 8:10, the Young Bucks were in the ring. But I was doing some business out and about. I was able to catch the majority of the show, but I was about 10 minutes late. So just full transparency. But I guess Mox defeated Shibata. Okay, Young Bucks then hit the ring. Mox takes off, evidently, because it's just the Bucks. And they're explaining their actions from Dynasty. And they're saying they did it, A, for Hangman, right? Because they're loyal. So Hangman, there you go, we did you a solid. And then they say they have the same goal as Mox and the Riders, right? Make and keep AEW great again. Right? So it's kind of like we have a lot in common, Mox. Like, there doesn't need to be that animosity. We actually have the same goals. So then Kenny Omega comes out. Omega makes it clear he is not on board with the Bucks or their actions. He says he came to fight. Omega hits the ring, but before there can be any altercation, Okada's music hits. Okada to the ring. Then Swerve's music hits. Swerve from behind with a chair. The Bucks and Okada, the heels, bail. They hightail it. So now it's just Omega Swerve. They share a little bit of a stare. Whatever they shared. Omega then leaves the ring and takes off, frustrated. This leaves just Swerve. Swerve then gets attacked from behind from Pac, and then we go to commercial. And when we come back, it's Pac versus Swerve. Hold on, let's digest all of that. Okay, this was just... I like overbooking. You guys, my veteran subscribers, you guys know that. I like overbooking, right? When it's done right, it's a lot going on, but it makes sense, and there's a lot of different moving parts, and it's fun. Overbooking in matchups, I like it. And then there's overbooking where you don't really have a destination. It doesn't make sense. If you told me Hunter Hearst Helmsley booked this segment, I would have said, okay, makes sense. I don't know what any of this was. I don't know what really got accomplished. Mox's whole match. Okay, I missed it. Maybe there was more that meets the eye. I don't get why that was done. The Young Bucks said a lot of really nothing. We did it for Hangman, and we did it because we have a lot in common, Mox. Okay. Omega then steps up to his old buddies, but then Okada steps up because I guess they have something with Okada and Omega brewing, but before they could even do anything, Swerve comes out. And before anything can happen, the heels take off, and Pac hits Swerve from behind because Pac's going to have a match with Swerve. None of this has anything to do with anything. Well, it does, BC, because the Young Bucks are explaining themselves, and they have something going on with Mox, and Omega and Okada was out there, and they have something. And Swerve, and Pac, there's a bigger thing. It didn't gel. It wasn't smooth. I didn't get it, man. I didn't get it. It was not good. It just wasn't. And this may be coming from the creator in me. But if I have all these moving parts, and this is a lot of really good talent, guys. Oh, good talent. And if I have all these and you're telling me, okay, we just need something for all of them, but we only have a half of an hour. I don't know what this was. This was a cluster, man. Not good. And this falls in line with what I've been seeing from All Elite Wrestling is I see a lot of good on these shows, actually. You know, you listen to the community, you feel Rome is burning, right? And AEW is the worst thing. It needs to be taken off of bullshit. Absolutely not. It needs tweaks, absolutely. It needs a lot of input. It needs a lot more creativity. Some things absolutely need to be taken out. Yes. If you know how to critique pro wrestling, like truthfully and vividly with a distinctive keen eye, if you know what you're talking about, you're a real reviewer and critic of wrestling. Yeah, you see what needs to be fixed and what needs to be added in creative input and things that need to be, you see it. But it is far from the worst thing on television. Stop it. But one of the issues they do have is closing their show and starting their show. Not every week, but a lot of the time. Like, for instance, I think it was last week, I actually liked the close. The matchup ends, whatever it was, and then Swerve is looking for Mox backstage. But they jump him, bring him into the ring, put him through glass. Right? So not every week, but a lot of weeks, it's the start and the finish. And the sad part, the unacceptable part here is that those are the most keen. Those are the most highlighted parts of the show. Your start and your finish. So I didn't like this, guys. I didn't. And I like overbooking. None of this really gelled. So again, when we came back from commercial, it was Pac and Swerve. This match, maybe 5 minutes. Swerve pins Pac. Swerve then exits the ring. One angry dude. The dude was seeing 10 Booker T's out there. I mean, this was a pissed off Swerve. And I've been really high on Swerve as of late. It was clear that Pac was just there to kind of give this W to Swerve. This was like a consolation prize for being pinned at Dynasty this past weekend. So it's the same thing WWE does, right? When a superstar loses a big match at a pay-per-view, the very next show, they're like winning over somebody else. And unfortunately, the person they're winning over basically gets squashed. Again, I don't even think this was more than 5 minutes. If I'm wrong, it's not by much. But I like this, man. Backstage, Hangman is on a rampage as per usual. And he barges into Swerve's locker room. And Swerve isn't there, but Nana is. And Nana goes to get up, and Hangman yells at Nana. He says, sit your ass down. Just yells at him, man, like a parent to a child. Sit your ass down. Like the kid's getting in trouble, right? So Nana's like, shit, all right. And Hangman says, I want to make this perfectly clear. At Dynasty, I was not trying to help Swerve. He then starts to storm off, but Nana does get up, and Nana says, hold on, Hangman. I've been wanting to tell you this. And Hangman cuts him off. He's like, no, you don't get that right. You don't get to do that. And the acting, in the way that he presented the line, it was so good. Like there was a believability with all the history that he has with Nana and Swerve and all that happened. Like he doesn't want to hear from you. Don't get to do that. Like after everything, we don't get to do this little thing. Now we're going to be buddies and work it out. You don't get to do that. It was so good. And Nana's just like he saw a ghost, like a deer in headlights. Nana's like, he's never saw. Even though we've all seen an unhinged Hangman for many, many months, we've never seen that type of a Hangman. And Nana is just frozen. I just thought it was so well done, man. Yeah, Page is first he says, shut your mouth. As Nana's like, hold on, I've been wanting to tell you that. Shut your mouth. You don't get to do that. It was just so good, guys. So good. I can do so much creatively with this type of a Hangman Page. That's all I kept thinking is like, if I was like a head creative for like, just say All Elite Wrestling and Hangman Page is like I'm given an assignment. Okay, we need you to work on Hangman's trajectory. We need you to work out the next 3 months for Hangman Page. Like a kid in a candy store, bro. I mean, as I'm watching this version, I'm thinking of all these things you could do with that character because he fits it so good. You know, a lot of people when Mox started going unhinged backstage, a lot of people like tried to like put him with Stone Cold, right? Nobody will ever be a Stone Cold, by the way. That's impossible. Different everything. But a lot of people tried to lump him into like the category. I say nah, and I like Mox. That's a hot take because a lot of people just trash Mox these days. But I see so much value in him. But it's this version of Hangman Page that would be anything closest to Stone Cold. Because creatively, I can do more Stone Cold shit with this type of a Hangman. And we all know in that Attitude Era, that was the funnest part. It wasn't even what Stone Cold was doing in the ring. It was all his antics outside of it. So much fun. But I couldn't help but think, man, you give me that version of Hangman Page. And BC's off to the races, man. Hour 1 would end, and Hour 2 would begin with an 8-man tag. Ospreay, Speedball, Briscoe, and Knight versus Rico, Beast, and CRU. Ospreay pins Beast. I didn't know what was going on here. Something about like $400,000. I'm probably way off. Somebody can correct me if you want. Please go ahead. But it was so stupid I didn't even, or maybe it was for charity, so maybe it's not stupid. Oops. Something about like the winners get 400. I didn't even know what was going on. I didn't care. And I think it's because my veteran subscribers will tell you, I don't like schmaz matches. Anything more than one-on-one, even if it's tag, you better do it correctly. It better be a real division. It better be tag teams I want to see. Trios, forget it. I can't stand the whole trios concept. I hate 8-man tags. So right off the bat, I didn't care about this at all. Let me get a swig. Try to uncap this with one fucking hand. So not only was it a schmaz, guys, there was something about like $400,000, I believe, on the line. I don't know what was happening. It just didn't make it. It had no purpose for me anyway. If it did for you guys, that's fine. If it made sense, maybe I was just missing something. Absolutely possible. Sometimes I have to take a lot of business calls and do some side endeavors as I'm watching. I try to do it during commercials, but sometimes I'm not able. So maybe I just missed something. That's fine. But I know that it wasn't interesting enough for me to go and find out, and that's what I mean. It wasn't. It was what it was, guys. Ospreay picks up a W when we go backstage. Okay. It was a match for match purposes. Hurt Syndicate celebrating their tag title victory from Dynasty. MJF crashes the party. He wants into Syndicate still, but Lashley tells him to shut up, Max. This was so good. Shut up, Max. MJF says, don't point at me. And he meant it. Like, dude, get your finger out. He doesn't care how big Lashley is. Get your finger out of my face. Don't point at me. Lashley screams back, I'll point at you. In fact, I'll slap the piss out of you. Guys, MJF is screaming back, do it, Bob. Go ahead, Bob. Do it, Bob. Guys, MJF brought the best out of Lashley all these years. Watching and listening to Lashley in World Wrestling Entertainment. Lashley has always been uncomfortable on the mic, or just not one of the better ones. But last night, you saw like this like extra amplification, some extra passion, man. And MJF brought that out. And it was just so... There was no stumbling over words or lack of confidence. It was as if you felt like Lashley meant it. I'll point at you. In fact, I'll slap the piss out of you. It was great. MJF, do it, Bob. Okay, Bob. It was so good. I love when people actually gel together. So this might be one of the things where initially I felt MJF and Hurt Syndicate have no business together. But I did tell you guys, like, I'm absolutely willing to let it play out. That's what we're supposed to do, right? So I'm absolutely, because I trust in these characters. So even if it is shitty creative, they could probably make something special out of it. So I originally was not down with it, but I was willing to see where it goes and how it goes. I'm still not saying I'm 100% on board. This is not how I would book or be creative with MJF or the Syndicate. But this is what they're doing. And for last night, I didn't mind this. And again, backstage, MJF would come up to MVP. Say, dude, what do I got to do? Like, what is Lashley not understanding? And MVP tells MJF, it's business. So what do you do in business? You find your consumer, you find out what they want, you give it to them. and MVP walks off. And MJF is like, huh. The consumer here is Lashley. What does Lashley want? I don't know. World title match? Championship gold, not just tag team? To find out what it is, you give it to him. Dude, that story, right? Tony Khan doesn't tell stories. Tony Khan has no stories. Hunter Hearst Helmsley's long-term booking and storytelling. Yeah, okay. Tony Khan doesn't tell any stories. They faded the Black Widow commercial, and I'm thinking over here, that's better than a favor. I'll tell you that fucking much. That's your main event at Mania. They're talking about a favor like a bunch of fucking toddlers at recess. Now you owe me a favor. I didn't hit you, so you owe me a favor. What's the favor gonna be? I don't even know. And now we have a main event for the custody of Paul Heyman. Yeah, that's fucking awesome. No title, but custody of Paul Heyman. This is better than a fucking favor, man. What does Lashley want? How the fuck is MJF A gonna find out? And B, give it to him. Yeah, BC was thinking, hey, I could do shit with that. Statlander, Pintarossa to advance in the Owen Hart. Toni Storm on commentary completely stole the show. I didn't think this was a bad match. This was one of the better Rosa match. I knew that was in Rosa. Since she's been in AEW, I have not seen the Rosa that everybody talked about beforehand. It's just not been good. Last night you started to see, hey, you know what? There's something in the fucking tank. There's more to Rosa. And Statlander is obviously... She's Statlander, man. You could put her in any situation. She's probably going to pull through. So the match was good, but it's Toni Storm, man. I can't help. I mean, she took over the notes with her lines at commentary. They were hilarious. One of her lines, Toni Storm says, look at all these juicy muscles. What is it with all these women and their juicy muscles? And then the best line was this from Toni Storm. Toni Storm says, last time I faced Statlander, she dumped me on my head and I lost 3 inches. Then I came across Shivani and I got it right back. Last time I faced Statlander, she dropped me on my head. I lost 3 inches. I came across Shivani. I got the 3 inches back, basically. You get it? Shivani's only 3 inches. Yeah, you get it. Commentary just absolutely went off mic for a second so they could laugh. It was hilarious. That moment of silence you heard, that was everybody going, wait, you did not just tell that joke. Toni Storm, bro. Just absolute highlight of highlights. I mean, she is just so good. Her character work. Oh, that was so good. The learning tree. Tensions were high, man. Big Bill is not happy. He tells Jericho, what are we doing? If you're truly just trying to navigate us to be the best of the best, okay, but if it's not, if this is all about you and you're just going to berate us every time something doesn't go your way, let us know now. That's fine, but let us know. Big Bill's pissed. Well, so is Jericho, although he doesn't say that up front. Jericho gives an impassioned speech. All I've ever wanted for you is the very best. But I'll tell you right now, no, I'm not angry. I'm disappointed. You can hear the crowd too, like audibly just moan, right? Oh, because that's the worst thing you can hear, right? Remember growing up? What's the worst thing you guys could hear from your parent? Do you guys remember? It wasn't that they're upset with you. No. No, parents can be upset with you 24 times a day. That's fine, right? They'll be angry. They'll get over it. But when they said they were disappointed in you, crushing. There was nothing worse. The crowd knew that. There was a moan. Yep. I'm not angry in you. I'm disappointed in you. And Jericho backs up so everyone can take in the moment. That's Jericho at his best, bro. Backs up, lets everybody take it in. And he's got a baseball bat. And he just goes unhinged. It was the best Jericho I've seen in years. And I've been around long enough to see 36 versions of Jericho, mind you. Takes the bat and he just starts wailing away on the LED TV. Or whatever type of it wasn't plasma. He just starts whacking away on this TV, smashing it to pieces. And he's like, I'm disappointed. Not angry. Disappointed. I'm disappointed with that Jericho voice. And he keeps smashing it, takes down the trees, the setup trees, the props, goes back to the TV, starts smashing it. And then he just stops and he puts the bat to the face of Big Bill. And he just puts, I'm disappointed. And until that changes, maybe I should go away for a while. And look at his mannerisms, the way he presented the line. It was so awesome. And then he just leaves. And I'm like, that was so gold. That was such a good performance. An unhinged Jericho is just funny, man. And he just puts the bat to Bill. He's like, I'm disappointed. And he goes, until that changes, maybe I should just go away for a while. Come on. It was... It's the best thing he's done in a long time, let's be honest. And we know the talent's in him. It's just creatively, I think a lot of people are just not interested in what he was doing. So this is something that we can all kind of get behind. I mean, the character work was great last night. That's obvious. But the people that were not happy with the learning tree segments or the learning tree in totality, right? For those people complaining about Jericho in this group and their TV time, you should be happy. They're basically teasing that that's a breakup. If not in totality yet, that's the seeds planted. So you win. The segment was not bad at all. I mean, I would take that over the 8-man tag wrestling match that was a couple of segments earlier. That's the truth, man. I was into that, man. Big Bill was like, he made you believe. He was very pissed off. And he's like, Jericho, tell us right now. What are we doing? Because we'll end this right now. And Jericho drops that line and flips out and walks away from the group. No, Bill, you don't have to. I'm going to. You think you're angry? I'm disappointed. Again, AEW has no stories. What do you? If you truly believe that, keep the same fucking energy with World Wrestling Entertainment. Because I see too much of that in the community. Everybody is willing to turn a blind eye and act like Hunter's giving all these amazing stories. The favor. It's a favor. Rhea Ripley lost the title and then she cried for 3 weeks and she got a match back. It's a triple threat. Doesn't make sense for Bianca. She won the chamber. Rhea didn't. But hey, fuck it. Io's the champion. She shouldn't have to face but fuck it. Long-term storytelling. Liv and Raquel, 1 week before Mania, is going to find out who they're facing. That's long-term storytelling. Chelsea and Lyra don't even have matches as champions. Long-term storytelling. Yeah. Jacob Fatu just got announced out of nowhere for LA Knight's title at Mania. Long-term storytelling. Lucha Latte versus Rey Mysterio. Thank goodness Hunter was planning this for months. Beautiful. Long-term storytelling. But we don't care. We'll just let that slide. We'll go over to All Elite Wrestling and say, they don't have any stories. I'm watching shit last night and I'm getting like, fucking, oh, this is good, man. Like, as a creator, I can work with this. The Ops then defeat the Riders in the main event. Hook taps out Wheeler Yuta, I believe. Post-match, the Riders take out Ops. And Joe challenges the Riders for a trios championship title match. I didn't like anything about this. I didn't. The match was fine. Match was decent. Just put it in the middle of the show if you're going to have it. There's no reason to have that in the main event. If your finish is just going to be Samoa Joe, or first of all, the faces beat the heels, and then the heels beat up the faces post-match. That's redundant. We see that all the time. That's all they had planned for the finish. And then Joe got on the microphone and just said, Riders! Riders! He says, let's just call it what it is. Trios championship title match. Something. I don't know. That's all he said. He had an ooh-ah moment. He's like, you're not the Death Riders. You're like the, I forgot what he said, the Dick Riders or something. I forgot what he said. I don't even know what he said. But that got like, oh, and they had to bleep it out. But that's it. That's all he did, guys. He's just like, hey, we want a trios title match. Ooh, okay. Wow, man. Good thing we waited 2 hours for the cliffhanger to be a trios title match challenge. I hope you guys understand, man. If you're really into it, that's cool. But you got to realize there's a lot of fans that's not a cliffhanger. That's not enough to go, I have to tune in next week. That's like, if I have time, all right, we'll see. Maybe they're going to do the match next week or at the next pay-per-view or in 3 months. Who knows? Maybe I'll see the match one day. If you care enough about a trios match between Ops and Riders. My point is, if you want to do that, put it in the middle of the show. But that's not the finish. Come on. There was way too much coming off of Dynasty. That can't be the finish. Can't be. But it was. So I actually saw some good. And so many things that you can work with going forward. The start of the show and the end of the show, that was not two of those things. And that is as fair as an AEW Dynamite review as you're going to get, man. 4/9/25. We rocked it out, man. This is going to go down as one of the biggest amped ups we've ever done, man. We spewed so much damn truth. We spewed so much truth that my eye went from twitching to not again. That's right. We went through multiple coffees. I'm about to down this one. It's been great, man. Thank you guys so much for talking that pro wrestling shit with BC. I really do appreciate you guys stopping by. Veteran subscribers, new subscribers, people stopping by and just finding the channel and going, all right, this is pretty badass. Appreciate it. I really do. And we're going to rock right through Mania and beyond, man. 2025 and beyond. So we just getting started, man. We just starting to rock this. And you guys can count on BC to give you the amplified truth always. But for now, 44 dive. That's a wrap. Until next time, and there will be that next time. Top guys, we're out. BC in the unit saying check you. Salud.